Bulls. Baseball is everything. DurhamBulls.com.
Good evening once again, everybody, and welcome to the intersection of Jackie Robinson and Blackwell, downtown Durham, North Carolina. It is Game 5 of our 6-game series between the Bulls and the New York Yankees AAA affiliate Scranton Wilkes-Barre RailRiders. Anthony Wellman is our producer and engineer tonight. Patrick Keenan sitting alongside former New York Yankees center fielder Scott Pose. It's been a highly competitive series. Pitchers really have paved the way. Shutout win for the RailRiders last night behind Alan Winans and Sean Boyle. 3-hitter over the Bulls last night. Scott, welcome back. Consecutive days. I'm proud of you, my friend.
Got the streak going. Just call me the Iron Man. But nonetheless, Scranton threw the ball really well last night, and the Bulls hitters couldn't adjust. They couldn't get underneath the off-speed down. Can they do it this evening against Zach Messier? And that's going to be the question. If he can continue what happened last night, it could be a long night. But we're excited to see Joe Boyle on the mound. He's been terrific this year. He's got an electric fastball, and that could really neutralize the Scranton lineup.
Yeah, the last time Boyle took the mound, he was in the big leagues with the Rays last Sunday. He retired the first 13 Atlanta Braves of that contest. He threw 5+ no-hit innings in a Rays win over the Braves. He beat Chris Sale in that game, optioned back as the Rays took a quick look at him after they acquired him in the offseason in a deal with Oakland. So it is Boyle. We'll see the fastball average in that 98 to 99 range as he takes the mound for the third time in a Bulls uniform. Here's the lineup card signed by former Bull and 30-year manager of the RailRiders, Shelley Duncan. It's brought to you by Pepsi. Jorby Bibas will lead things off and play third base. Then it's Everson Pereira in left. TJ Rumfield, the 3-hole hitter at first base. Jesus Rodriguez once again gets the catching duties, and the 22-year-old will bat cleanup. Ismael Munguia is in center field. Dominic Smith at DH. Andrew Velasquez at shortstop. Grant Richardson in right, and Max Burt bats ninth and plays second. First pitch, an easy 99 from Boyle. It's off the plate, and away we go from Durham. Bibas hitting .364. He's had a terrific series for Scranton. 9 hits. He chops one high and softly off the plate. Coming into field, Tanner Murray. Throw a bit offline. Good stretch by Bob Seymour. And Bibas retired to open the game. That's a tough opening game chance for Tanner Murray.
Well, Murray was in on the bunt as it was, but this ball hit high off the dirt and then had an odd hop once it finally did come back down to earth. But Murray did a good job to field it, and even better job by Seymour to react to the throw that was a little off. But he kept speed off the bases and a good defensive play for the Bulls to start the game.
All right, so here is Everson Pereira, a couple of homers in this series, right-handed hitter. First pitch from Boyle, way high, right across the bill of the black new Scranton Wilkes-Barre helmet. 100 miles an hour on that first pitch from Boyle. He touched 100 a couple of starts ago with the Bulls and fires that one a little bit inside. As a matter of fact, it was the start he made against the Rays last year, pitching for Oakland, that really caught Eric Neander's attention in the Tampa Bay Rays. They made a deal to acquire Boyle in the offseason, sending Jeffrey Springs and Jacob Lopez to the now former Oakland Athletics, as Boyle throws 99 past Pereira. He threw 6 dominant innings against the Rays last year when he was up in the bigs. He broke in September 23 and had some 13 appearances with Oakland last year. A challenge on a called strike by Everson Pereira. So he's challenging the 6th pitch of the game called by Brian Walsh, our home plate umpire. And the pitch is a strike. Call confirmed. Good news for Brian Walsh. He'll be up in a big league game tomorrow after he calls the balls and strikes here tonight. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Pereira. Joe Boyle stands 6'7". And the pitch from Boyle, a swing and a miss. Double clutch cut by Pereira on a 91-mile-an-hour slider from the sport-goggled Boyle. 2 gone.
And that's the first time that he broke it out. That's tough for Pereira because he's gearing up for gas, has not yet seen the breaking ball. He sees it with 2 strikes. That's why you saw the uncomfortable double clutch, and Boyle gets the strikeout.
I mean, it's just a matter of time before Boyle is back up with the Rays on a regular basis. Right now, there's no room for him in the rotation as he overcooked one high and wide. The start he went up to make against the Braves last Sunday down at Steinbrenner Field was more just kind of break up during a long spate of consecutive games by the Tampa Bay Rays. Swing and a miss by Rumfield. 92 on that slider from Boyle. Rays, I believe, are in a run of 13 consecutive games without an off day, and they didn't want to overtax their 5-man rotations. They brought Boyle up, backed everybody up a day, and Boyle dominated Atlanta. Yeah, that's a taste of what the Rays will get from Joe Boyle later on this season. It's 100 again. It's a little bit down. He's 2-1 on Rumfield. Rumfield connected for a first-inning home run against Paul Gervais, who opened for the Bulls. He has 4 in his 17 games. Since went high and wayward off the left side. His fans rise, and nearly a bare hand, one-handed catch by a fan in the next to last row.
Boyle's the kind of pitcher that the threat of velocity will make you look stupid on breaking stuff. The breaking stuff doesn't have to be that good, but it's enough of a differential off the fastball that you have to cheat to get to. And by cheat, I mean start early and really commit to it.
Lights are on, little breeze over toward the left field corner. Boyle's 2-2, a little tap in front of the plate with some English, though, carries it foul. Boyle 8 innings with the Bulls, 10 strikeouts. He's walked 6, 2.25 is the ERA. Took a loss in his Bulls debut, and then threw 4 scoreless against Sugar Land before he was called up to take on the Atlanta Braves. 25 years of age. And the right-hander's 2-2 on the corner. Strike 3 called, and down goes Rumfield. Dominant opening gamut by Joe Boyle in the top of the first inning. Tipped over 100 miles an hour on 2 fastballs in a 1-2-3 inning. So Zach Messenger, 25-year-old from Chandler, Indiana, former UVA Cavalier. He takes him on for start of the year. 463 earned run average in his first AAA campaign. Opening pitch out of the stretch. Strike 1 in the knees on Tanner Murray. And here's the lineup card signed by Morgan Ensberg, second-year manager of the Bulls. Brought to you by Pepsi. Murray, the leadoff hitter at third base. Bob Seymour in the 2-hole tonight. Seymour at first base, and then Eloy Jimenez, the DH. Messenger's 0-1. Breaking ball spins a little bit low. Coco Montez cleans up. He plays left field. Carson Williams in the 5 slotted short. Tristan Peterson right. Kenny Piper catching. Jamie Westbrook hits 8th and plays second base. And then Drew Baker in center. Messenger's pitch dips a little bit low. 2-1 now on Tanner Murray. Murray hitting .293. 22 hits so far this season. Was leading the league in hits up until about a week ago. Just 2 of 15 in this series. And that one again narrowly down. Ball 3. Messenger has the bottom of the strike zone surrounded, but no strikes down there right now for Brian Walsh's zone. And a challenge already burned by Scranton offensively in the top of the first. Here's the 3-1. And this one's blistered up the middle. Lands in the center field grass. Low line drive single for Tanner Murray.
Murray worked himself to a fastball count, 3-1. He can sit on a fastball where he wants it. This one's down out over the plate. And a solid single up the middle as Champ barrels over the bat to bring it back.
Game 2 for Champ, and he is gleefully sprinting back over to the Bulls dugouts. We saw him make his debut a couple of Saturdays ago. The brother of Ripken, the bat dog, who had been the kind of mascot 1B for the Bulls over the last few years, tragically passed away a couple of months ago. As Bob Seymour fists one the other way, Looper over the jump of Beamos. Murray got a good read, a little bobble by Pereira, and he can't make a throw to third base. Loop single Seymour, first and third, nobody outs.
That is great base running by Murray. Murray has that play in front of him. He saw that Pereira had a long way to run. That ball was softly hit. He said, all right, race is on. And he put pressure on Pereira, who bobbled that ball when he tried to rush his throw. And immediate pressure puts runners at first and third with nobody out. Great base running by Tanner Murray.
And meanwhile, Champ is getting a workout. Back-to-back bat retrievals. But he's a young pup. Born to run. Here is Eloy Jimenez, the Bulls DH. Longtime Chicago White Sox outfielder. First pitch from Messenger drops in a slider for strike 1.
I think the real test for Champ will be on a home run because his brother would go out there and sit and wait until the batter crossed the plate. Then he would bring the bat back.
Infield double play depth. Pitch on Jimenez, crushed out to left field, going back is Pereira. It's over his head and off the base of the wall. Murray in, Seymour lumbers past third. He's getting the send. The throw from Velasquez comes home, and it's late. Seymour slides across the plate with his left bare hand. It's a 2-run double for Eloy Jimenez, and the Bulls are off to the races against Messenger and the RailRiders, just like Champ, off to the races for another bat.
A lot happening on this play. Eloy Jimenez hammers this ball off the manual scoreboard, and Munguia bobbled it, and that's what allowed Seymour to be sent, because I think there was question if he was going to hold up, and I think he expected to be held up. But then when he saw the windmill, he said, all right, I got to turn it on, and he did. The Bulls have 2 across, still nobody out, and a runner in scoring position.
Oh, I got a couple of stories I can bring up. Seymour scores from first on that double. A brief meeting between Rodriguez and Messenger, who is looking for a mulligan here in the first inning. Now Coco Montez fouls off a fastball. Was around the cage yesterday when the Bulls were taking BP. Bob Seymour and the group were just talking about some random things, being razzed by some fans. That's a topic that came up. And Seymour said the worst he ever got razzed was by about 8 college students on a Tuesday when he was playing in Asheville, and they were making fun of Bob and maybe a lack of speed, as we're getting a challenge here. And the call is in the strike zone, so it will be overturned. And anyway, Seymour had dealt with the razzing for 5, 6, 7 innings, but he walked like 4 times the game. He walked his final plate appearance and then broke for second base to try and steal. The pitch was fouled off, and then playing to the group of young college people in attendance that night who were just all over Bob, he heard it. I mean, he could not hear it. And so he played into the role that he had no speed and couldn't run because of his size. And he bent over halfway going back to first base and was acting like he was huffing and puffing. And he got a big rise from those fans. This might have been the first time in a couple of years Seymour scores from first on a double. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Coco Montez. Eloy Jimenez out at second base. First 3 Bulls have reached. And the pitch from Messenger. Check swing, breaking ball down. They will appeal. No, says James Jean, the crew chief, out on the second base dirt. Oh, if only Seymour had their social media accounts, he'd probably clip that video of him scoring easily from first base on that double, send to them. Look how faster I am now. 3-2 off the plate inside, and Montez draws a walk. And the first 4 Bulls have reached. And this is a brand new night for Scranton Wilkes-Barre's pitching staff, sailing through a 3-hit shutout last night with nominal hard contact by the Bulls. And now Messenger will get a visit from his pitching coach. The RailRiders starting pitcher may not last long at all here tonight unless things change.
Gerardo Casadiego is out to talk to Zach Messenger, who's thrown 14 pitches so far without getting an out. 2 runs already in, but if this inning extends, then it becomes the danger zone, and you might have to get him out of there and then get into this bullpen.
Well, the good news, at least for the RailRiders, is that they have a lot of fresh arms in the bullpen because we saw such a great combined outing last night between Winans and Boyle. De Los Santos through the 9th inning. But the last thing they want to do is dip into the bullpen extremely early in this one.
As well as Scranton pitched last night, they might have gotten through 4 innings with this pitch count.
Here's Carson Williams, looks at strike 1. We'll see the velocity of the 4-seam fastball in the 91 to 93 range from Messenger. Slider, change, cutter. A very rare curveball on occasion. Checks Jimenez at second. And off-speed low and away. Evens the count on Williams. Carson off to a bit of a sluggish offensive start in his first full AAA year. Top prospect in the Rays system, hitting 189 with 4 RBIs. Homering once. Bats right-handed, opens the stance. 1-1 pitch. Fastball, strike 2. 94 that time from Messenger. Messenger, a Double-A Somerset last year, was 7-8 through 150 innings. Did not miss his starts. Breaking ball, check, swing, they peel again, and no swing this time. James G., the crew chief, now back at first base, had a good look, said no. Jimenez at second. Coco Montez at first. 2-0 Bulls first inning. And Messenger's pitch. Strikes out Williams, looking. 95 on that fastball. Just above the knees, right down the middle. And that is an out that Messenger sorely needed.
Well, it was a pitcher's pitch. That's at the knees on the outside corner. Not a lot that Williams could do. He couldn't pull the trigger. I don't think he swung the bat that at bat. He looked at 3 strikes. It's not a productive at bat for the Bulls.
So the runners are made first and second. Now Tristan Peters, left-handed hitting right fielder for Durham. Leans back in the stance, cuts through a 95-mile-an-hour pitch from Messenger. Looks like Messenger's kind of getting on to himself and finding a little bit more velo on that fastball.
Well, whatever Casadiego said is working because he's thrown nothing but strikes since the meeting.
Long look back at Jimenez. 0-1, Peters fights it off, little looper, tough play, shallow left field near the line, going back, Bemis, it lands, good read by Jimenez, he's already around third, good throw's gonna have it shot, the tag is down, and Jimenez thrown out anyway by Everson Pereira from shallow left field.
That is a great play by Pereira because he had a lot of ground to cover, and that's why Jimenez is being sent. And you're banking on making the defense have to make a play. The outfielder's got to cover a lot of ground. It's tough to make a good throw on that, but Pereira sets his feet and throws a perfect strike to the plate to get Jimenez.
I mean, that is a great play for a lot of reasons. I mean, Jimenez knew that ball was dropping off of the bat. I mean, it's not like he hesitated at all going to third base. He was on the move. 7-2 putouts and a tapper foul by Kenny Piper. 7th Bull to bat in the inning. Other runners did advance. Peters at second base. Coco Montez down at third. So already 4 hits for the Bulls in this first inning. Piper hitting .242. 6 runs batted in. 4 homers for Piper. 26-year-old who grew up in Missouri. Here's the 0-1. High and a little bit inside. 95 again for Messenger. Shaky start for the RailRiders right-hander. Try to battle through and limit the damage. 1-1. Breaking ball. A little bit outside. Ball 2. Beautiful night. 81 as we get underway. Still plenty of sunshine. Messenger's pitch. Slider there, missed in a fastball count by Piper.
Another great crowd tonight, too. We had a lot of people here last night, over 8,600. It looks to be that many tonight.
Yeah.
Beautiful night for baseball.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Kenny Piper. Murray singled, Seymour a bloop base hit, Jimenez hammered a 2-run double. But on a Peters pop fly single, Jimenez thrown out at the plate. Second and third, 2 outs. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Holding on is Rodriguez.
Leading off the RailRiders, the catcher number
Bulls with an early 2-0 lead. Compliments of a double by Eloy Jimenez. And Joe Boyle back on the hill. 13 pitches in his first inning. A perfect inning with 2 strikeouts. And touched 100 twice with his fastball. Jesus Rodriguez will start the second inning. And Boyle ready to go. First pitch out of the stretch. Fired inside at 98. Bulls are wearing the Copa de la Diversión uniforms tonight, playing as the Toros Bravos de Durham. First of 3 games this year. Celebration of Latin American and Hispanic culture tonight. And Boyle just does kiss the outer corner. 1-1. Boyle has gone 4 innings, and then 5+ in his first 3 outings between Durham and Tampa Bay. This one's softly lined Seymour's way, and right behind the first base bag. Easy catch for Seymour.
Well, that velocity jammed Rodriguez. He wasn't able to get extended. That was the easy play for Seymour at first, but The velocity is impressive, and it's just firm, and firmer. You got to get it started early to catch up to it.
Yeah, and it's sustained. It's something we saw in his first couple of starts here for the Bulls. Very little drop-off in velo and command, frankly, for Boyle in his first couple of Bulls starts. There's ball one outside. And you look over the course of his career, again, Boyle pitched collegiately at Notre Dame. He was primarily a reliever there for the Fighting Irish. Spent 3 years in South Bend. Check swing, they appeal, and it does go through down at third base. Ray Valero says yes. But Boyle, over his minor and major league career, walks per 9 innings been very, very high. And that's kind of the one area that has slowed down his consistent ascent to Major League Baseball. Pitch fouled back. Over his minor league career, almost 300 innings, averaging 7 walks per 9 innings. Big leagues, smaller sample size, but it's over 6. And that's untenable for pitchers at the big league level. But you see now with the velo that Boyle brings, if he can harness the walks, he is going to be a really good major league pitcher very soon as he gets a little tap foul by Munguia.
Well, if you stay around the zone consistently, that bodes well when you throw 100. And it's interesting to see him throw with that release because he doesn't have a big arm swing. He doesn't have a big circle. He almost takes the ball back like a catcher, but still generates that velocity.
1-2 from Boyle. Breaking ball, soft loop towards second, and out to catch it is Westbrook on the backhand side. You can see Westbrook kind of calculating in his head on the angle to approach that soft line drive. Pivoted, got his footwork proper, and made the grab moving into the outfield grass. First 5 retired by Boyle. And now it's Dominic Smith. Had last night off. His only hit in the series against his former team from last year was a home run. And a wild one in the backstop from Boyle. Smith hitting 152. Just a couple of runs driven in for this longtime New York Met. Outfield deep, a bit the other way. 1-1 now on Dom. Montez, Baker, and Peters in the outfield, left to right. More on that in a second. Tanner Murray at third base, Williams at shortstop, Westbrook at second, Seymour at first base, and Kenny Piper the catcher. 1-1 from Boyle. Swung on, driven hard to third. On one hop, Murray plays out on the forehand side, throws perfect. Tanner Murray, again, he's just a defensive backboard. To begin the second inning, right-handed hitter. And Messenger's opening pitch at the knees on the inside corner. By the way, that last play we just saw converted by Tanner Murray, 100 off of the bat on that smash to third.
The hardest hit off of Joe Boyle so far tonight, and Murray made it look easy. He had the glove there. He scoops it up smoothly and makes the play look seamless. But it was a tremendous play and a great read on a hot ball coming off the bat.
And Murray has played 10 games at third, 7 at second base, even filled in one day at shortstop when the Bulls were in Buffalo. And he has just been very impressive across the board in his first couple of weeks here with the Bulls. Westbrook jumps out of the way of that pitch from Messenger. Outfield for the RailRiders of Pereira, Munguia, and Richardson left over to right. And the pitch on Westbrook, breaking ball, half swing, goes too far and strikes out against Messenger.
Steady diet sliders here from Messenger, and it looked like Westbrook was having trouble picking it up. He got caught in between the half swing. He goes down.
Drew Baker, the number 9 hitter in Morgan Ensberg's lineup tonight. Averaging .224 over 16 games. Bats right-handed. And the pitch on Baker puts a butt down on the grass. Left side, sliding into it. Rodriguez throws from his backside late on a bounce. And Baker legs it out.
The only chance that Scranton had to make on that play was Rodriguez fielding it, and he slid on the shin guards, but it was so perfectly placed that he got caught in a no man's land. No way to get the hustling Drew Baker, who put down a perfect bunt, caught Scranton on their heels, and the Bulls get a one-out base runner and turn the batting order over.
We'd love to see that from Baker. Now he's going to be a threat on the base pass as Tanner Murray bats for the second time. And the pitch from Messenger turned him around a bit with a tight fastball. Well, with Chandler Simpson now making his major league debut today for the Rays. We saw an audition as the leadoff hitter by Trey Morgan last night. Tanner Murray bats leadoff tonight for Durham. And Drew Baker is playing center field. Simpson's spots. 2-0 on Tanner Murray. That Rays-Yankees game is in the ninth. Pete Fairbanks has given up a couple of runs in the ninth. The Yankees have now extended to an 8-4 lead. Simpson is 0 for 4 in his debut. He might get one more at bats. 2-0 pitch is at the knees. We're getting a challenge, though, from Tanner Murray. Pitch was called a strike. This will be the first challenge lodged by Durham in the game. And Murray is correct. Overturns the strike, and now a 3-ball count instead. And Messenger very quick to home plate. You had him 1-1-6, 1-1-8.
Yes, consistently just under 1-2.
Here's the 3-0 pitch, and that is low, ball 4. And I think the home plate umpire, Brian Walsh, left his microphone on, didn't he?
He did.
You could hear him utter ball.
I didn't mind that at all. We knew right away what the call was. And it puts runners at first and second.
Well, we've all had our live hot mic moments, haven't we? I could teach a class on that. 2 on with 1 out. And now it's Bob Seymour for the Bulls. Rodriguez steps in front of the plate to signal to his infielders where a throw is going in the event the Bulls are active on the bases here. Seymour drooped his single to left his first time up. Messenger looks at the lead runner Baker, and Seymour takes a slider or cutter for strike 1. Perfect night. Actually got fairly warm midday today. I'm taking my 3-year-old son and my wife out for ice cream. We were sweating outside of the ice cream shop. Broken bat, Hopper left side, backhand by Velasquez, throws to first base. Seymour called out, hands on the helmet, palms to the ground. Seymour can't believe he was called out. Big time play by Velasquez. I'm not sure that throw got there in time, though.
Velasquez had to range to his right, threw it on the run, and I thought initially that Seymour had a chance to beat that out. But the ball short hopped, a fine play by Rumfield. And Seymour is called out for the second out of the inning, puts runners at second and third.
And brings up Eloy Jimenez, who doubled in the 2 runs. The first, he'll swing first pitch, a bouncer up the middle, scooped by Velasquez, makes the transfer and throws out Jimenez to close out the inning. Boyle has been perfect through his first couple of innings in his first game back with Durham after his audition with the Rays against Atlanta last Sunday. Patrick Keenis alongside former New York Yankees center fielder Scott Pose. And Andrew Velasquez, who spent a couple of summers playing with the Bulls, will lead things off for the RailRiders here in the 3rd inning. 4 of 12 in this series. Velasquez takes high and wide from Boyle. Couple of strikeouts for Boyle. And the 1-0 from the right-hander whistles to the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now Boyle came out originally drafted by the Cincinnati Reds from Notre Dame. Then traded to Oakland and then flipped over to the Rays back in December. Pitch on Velasquez, massage out to right center field. Here's Peters laying out, and Peters, another spectacular catch. Added to the list of highlight catches by Tristan Peters. Diving to his chest, extending with the glove on that left hand, and took it right off the top of the grass.
It doesn't get any better than this. Peters takes a direct route. His only choice was to dive. He gets full extension. Looks like that ball may have hopped into his glove. But a heck of an effort by Tristan Peters.
We'll never know. 7 in a row retired by Boyle. I mean, you could have the plays of the year from AAA all be by Durham Bulls outfielders and infielders with what we've seen in the first month of this season. Peters, Baker, Murray. And a long, long list. Carson Williams. There's the 1-1 from Boyle at the knees of Richardson. And Scott, you've been on the receiving end of a number of those catches over your minor league and major league career. What does it feel like after you make a catch like that?
Oh, it's better than getting a big hit, because you know you've helped your team out, you helped the pitcher out, but you run one down like that, and you have such just a small window to make the catch. It's a pretty sweet feeling.
Here's the 1-2 pitch from Boyle, and that's on the corner, strike 3. No challenge from Richardson. He did question the call, but now turns and walks back in the dugout. Third punch out by Boyle. So Boyle has set down the first 8 tonight. And again, last Sunday retired the first 13 Atlanta Braves before he walked Ozzie Albies. And here's Max Bertz. Swings first pitch, lifts it to left center. Long run for Baker into the alley. He'll get there in front of the track. And Boyle, perfect his first orbit through the order. Bulls 2, RailRiders nothing. Last of the third begins with Coco Montez. And the first pitch from Zach Messenger is swing and a miss on a slider. Strike 1. Montez playing left field tonight. He leads off this third inning. Carson Williams, Tristan Peters will follow. A 1 from Messenger, right past him, strike 2. Now, if it sounds odd that I'm saying Coco Montez is playing left field, it sounds even more odd for him to hear he's playing left field. He started 1 game this year for the Bulls in left, and he's played 3 innings in the big leagues with the Rays this year in left field. That's it for his career. And Coco takes upstairs. 28-year-old, played his college ball down in Tampa at USF. Nickname given to him by his grandfather right when he was born as he swings and misses and strikes out to begin the third inning. So Montez fans, and that'll bring up Carson Williams.
Shortstop, number 7, Carson Williams.
As Carson Williams comes up, we do have a Chandler Simpson update. He did bat in the bottom of the 9th inning against the Yankees in his major league debut. And Chandler Simpson has just picked up his first major league hit. There's a swing and a bouncing ball, long hop to Velasquez in the hole. Nice high backhand and throws out Carson Williams. And Velasquez coming to play here tonight at shortstop for Scranton.
He's playing some defense. It wasn't an easy play, but a great throw across the infield. A strong arm throw, and gets the second out of the inning. I bet there have not been too many players for their major league first hit got a ground rule double.
Yeah.
That's going to be a small selective club, I would think.
They're going to have to root that ball out of the crowd over the wall. First pitch swinging, fly ball to center field, breaking back quickly Munguia, and now he comes in, pats the glove, and makes the play. And that is just a 7-pitch inning turned in by Messenger. Bulls go in order.
Leading off with RailRiders, the third baseman, number 6, Joe Vivas.
Top of the 4th inning from Durham. 2-0 Bulls. Joe Boyle back on the mound. Workman-like performance so far for Boyle. 32 pitches is all. He's retired all 9 batters. Second time through now. He'll face Bibas, Pereira, and Rumfield. 9 up, 9 down, 3 punch-outs. And here's Bibas, who grounded out to Tanner Murray at third base to begin the game. Strike called. Bibas unhappy with it. Bibas had 3 of Scranton's 8 hits last night. Calls time. I think he's still bothered by that strike call. He's still muttering, looking at his dugout. Brian Walsh won't play umpire once the pitch clock resets. He knows what Bibas is up to here. Here's the 0-1. Swinging a roller foul. Strike 2. Big swing by Bibas. As we were closing down the bottom of the third, we talked about Chandler Simpson collecting his first major league hit. Came in the bottom of the 9th inning with the Rays down 8-4. A ground rule double to the opposite field in left field corner. Landed it on the track and then it jumped over the wall. The Rays have now scored 4 runs to tie the game up. It is now 8-8. Simpson's double brought in a run. Here's the pitch from Boyle. Ground ball again. Murray's way. Fields halfway between third and second. And that's 10 straight by Boyle. So one away in the fourth inning. Now keep in mind, Chandler Simpson over his pro career, 1 home run. Inside the park home run with Montgomery last year. He has not had an over-the-wall home run in his pro career. He's only hit a ball over a wall since high school once, and that happened at Georgia Tech. Remember, he spent his first couple of years at UAB, then transferred to the Yellow Jacket program. So the fact that Simpson's first hit was a couple of feet away from being an over-the-wall home run is what strikes me. Congrats to Chandler. Just a super nice and a humble young man who was a long runway of a big league career ahead of him. 1-1 as Pereira fouls it off.
And technically that ball did go over a wall.
They did. Yeah, a lot of hop.
Good for him. I hope they got the ball back.
Simpson's family in attendance at the game. Here's a 1-1. And that's a called strike on the inside edge. Strike 2 on Pereira.
Just an easy 99.
Yeah. Pereira looked like he was considering challenging that one. He blew a challenge the first inning out of pitch from Boyle. Here's the 1-2. And that is a little high on the inside. 2-2. Now, since we've broached the topic of Chandler Simpson again, here's kind of the story behind the story of what happened when he found out he was going to the big leagues yesterday. It's really interesting. And in pure Chandler Simpson style, it's very fast. 2-2 was fouled off. Again, the Rays didn't know after the contest on Thursday the extent of the knee injury for Palacios. So they didn't make the decision on adding Simpson to the big league roster and calling Morgan Ensberg to let him know until early afternoon yesterday. And there's strike 3 taken by Pereira. And then a quick chain of events, because it was right around 2 o'clock that Morgan Ensberg got a buzz from the Rays saying we're adding Chandler. He's on a flight at about 3:30, so an hour and a half away. Morgan then calls Chandler Simpson. Simpson sees Morgan call. He thinks he's missed a meeting. Said, "What's up, Morgan? Am I supposed to be there?" Said, "No, but you need to get your stuff and going. You're going to Tampa." So Simpson threw a couple of things in a bag, hopped in his car, came to the stadium while people here at the DBAP were packing up what they could in his locker, came here, got in a car, and was driven to RDU. And he got to his flight about 25 minutes before it took off. Chandler was able to speed his way through the airport and get to the gate. And fortunately, they were also able to get the equipment bag loaded onto the Delta flight to make sure that that got down there as well. Soft little line drive hooked into the screen down the right by Rumfield. But I mean, from start to finish, he had about an hour and 10 minutes to get from his apartment, get here, get his stuff. It's about 15, 18 minutes from the DBAP to RDU. Fortunately, it was in the middle of the afternoon, so not much traffic and not a lot of volume of passengers going through security. But can you imagine Chandler Simpson like O.J. Simpson running through the airport in those Hertz commercials?
Oh, I wouldn't worry about him getting to his gate at all.
1-2, swinging him as he's hurling over, 4-year-old. Bottom of the fourth inning, 2-0 Durham leading Scranton. Bulls trying to take a 3-2 series lead. Durham has not lost a series yet this year. So Piper begins the fourth. Messenger on the hill. And a slider that stays up but is missed as Piper goes underneath it. Strike 1. 2 runs, 5 hits for the Bulls. No runs, no hits. Scranton. Piper fan to close out the first inning. And Messenger bounces one in. 1-1. Scott, what do you remember about your first major league hit?
I remember it was a 55 hopper on a slider that was a get me over a slider with a runner on third base, infield kind of drawn in and over, and was able to squirt through the left side of the infield.
This one's pulled foul past the third base bag, lands on the grass. Strike 2.
I can still see the seams.
Where's the ball?
It's on its way to the plate, and then I saw where I made contact.
Where's the ball now?
The ball. My mom and dad, I gave it to them. I thought you meant in the picture in my mind.
No, I don't care about what's in your mind, to be honest. Pop up from right side.
That is true.
Rumfield in on the grass near the mound has it with 2 hands.
Right after the game, I gave that ball to my mom and dad. They kept it in their house for
Second baseman, number 2,
what,
Jamie
35
Westbrook.
years, and then they brought it down, and now it is in what we call the man cave.
There you go.
Here in Raleigh.
One out now. Thank you for that. Jamie Westbrook, the hitter, struck out in the second inning. And Messenger's first pitch on Westbrook is swinging a foul. I talked with Jamie before the game today as he was taking some cuts in the second group of BP, and I said it was about 4 o'clock, so 10 minutes before the first pitch with the Rays and the Yankees today. And I said, Jamie, it's 10 minutes before Chandler Simpson's first major league moment. What's going through his mind? Because Jamie Westbrook went through this last year, made his major league debut a couple of weeks before he turned 29. He made his debut as a pinch hitter, then played right field for the Red Sox in a game against Detroit. I said, what were you feeling 10 minutes before that first pitch? And what's Chandler feeling? He said his heartbeat is beating 30 times faster right now than it typically does. And Westbrook said, as I kind of asked him, like, when did it finally slow down? So the hardest time for Westbrook to kind of slow things down was, he said, defensively, because you have so much to process in a limited amount of time. He said, minor leagues, it feel like you have 15, 16 seconds. The big leagues, it feels like you have about 7 or 8. It took him a while to be able to kind of recalibrate, smooth things down, slow the game down. It's 2-2 on Westbrook with 1 out, nobody on. Messenger's pitch is a tad low. Where was your mind 10 minutes before your first game with the Florida Marlins?
I was calm but nervous. I never forget, I had goosebumps when they announced the lineups. We had a jet fly over. It was a big deal for Southern Florida and Miami.
There's ball 4 on Westbrook. Again, this was opening day.
It was opening day.
First game ever in Florida Marlins history.
So there was a lot of press around and I got goosebumps. But I'll tell you, when it really calmed down for me is before my first at bat, Oral Hershiser took his windup and he took his pitches, and before he threw the first pitch, he was staring down. And he stared down, this is before pitch clock, for a long time, and then he finally looked up and stared in. And that fired me up because it reminded me of my brother in the backyard.
Swing and a miss by Baker.
And I, in general, didn't like pitchers anyway. And then that just kicked in my natural baseball instincts. And we were playing a game again. He was just another pitcher, and I was fired up, ready to go.
Westbrook at first, 1 out. Messenger up 0-1, gets a swing and a foul by Baker.
And I'm facing a guy that had a major league record streak. He's a Cy Young Award winner. And I'm going at him like he's my older brother, and I want to beat him.
Yeah.
That's how warped you can get, but it worked.
And you should have had an infield single your first at bat, right?
No, but that's not what it says.
Originally a hit, then changed to an error?
It was indicative of my career, yes.
0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Gets Baker expanding the zone on a slider well outside. 2 gone.
Well, that was a swing we saw a lot last night from Bulls hitters with that breaking pitch down. Baker was fooled, looking for something else in, and then tried to offer that slider and couldn't make contact.
So 2 outs now. Tanner Murray bats for the 3rd time. Murray has singled and walked, scored a run already. I mean, he has the white jersey and the white pants in the front all dirtied up as if he's already played an 8-hour game. Foul back by Murray. He was right on the fastball. Yankees did not score in the top of the 10th. It's an 8-8 game, and suddenly the Rays have an opportunity to really steal one from the Yankees at Steinbrenner Field as Murray swings through a fastball.
The Yankees had runners at first and third, nobody out, and could not score. 2 strikeouts and a flyout to the right fielder.
Yeah, Edwin Uceda, Bull of last year, pitched that 10th inning.
Oh, could you imagine an extra inning game where they had to put Simpson at second base first?
0-2. Snap throw to first base as the pitch was outside. Close play, and boy, barely back in as Westbrook. That was an excellent throw by Rodriguez.
And honestly, that could be a way he stays on a roster I keep him on the bench just to do
Oh,
that.
there's no doubt.
Because the game's over.
Yeah. 1-2 strikes on Murray. Westbrook at first. And Messenger's pitch overpowers Murray. Misses a fastball. Looked like he was expecting something off speed there. Top of the 5th, Joe Boyle has retired the first 12 of the game. Bulls on top of the RailRiders 2-0. Jesus Rodriguez will begin the 5th against Boyle, who has only used a paltry 46 pitches in 4 innings. Opening pitch on Rodriguez. Inside, ball 1 from Boyle. Well, the Tampa Bay Rays have just pilfered one from the Yankees. Jonathan Aranda, a game-winning homer with a man on in the bottom of the 10th. Rays were trailing 8-4 in the ninth. They win it 10-8 in 10 innings over New York. And the Rays, after the opening day go homer by Cameron Miser, I mean, they've been looking for any kind of, shot in the arm to kind of jumpstart their year. Maybe this is the game for the Rays. Pitch inside. 2 balls and no strikes on Rodriguez.
And before the game started, the pregame broadcast was talking about how they needed a shot in the arm and maybe Chandler Simpson could provide it. You could make a case that ground rule double started the rally that allowed them to come back.
Yeah, there's ball 4. 4-pitch walk and Rodriguez on. So Boyle, after retiring the first 13 Atlanta Braves last Sunday before walking Albies, retires the first 12 RailRiders in his first game back in AAA. Now a 4-pitch walk puts Rodriguez on. It's another terrific run by Joe Boyle.
Well, there goes the perfect game.
And here is Ismael Munguia, 26-year-old center fielder, bats left-handed. And the pitch from Boyle, a tad wide, 5 straight balls from Boyle. And Boyle hit 100 miles an hour in that opening inning. He's been again sniffing 98, 99 ever since. Now close to 50 pitches. And a snap thrown on the line at first base. Piper almost picked him off. Oh, barely back in was Jesus Rodriguez.
Seymour was pretty demonstrative about the tag, too. He thought he might have gotten it down, and they got that runner. It was a great, no-look throw. Catchers love to do this with a lefty up and a runner on first. You've got the batter as a screen. And Piper got the ball down there. It was a very close play at first.
And Seymour's had a couple of issues with calls at first base tonight by James Jean. But, yeah, that Piper throw right over the top of the small left-handed hitter. Plenty of kind of disguise to it. But it's a tough angle to get that ball down from where he's throwing over the shoulder down to the side of the base for Seymour. 2-1 count. There goes the runner. Swing and a miss. Piper throw on the way to second base. Tag! No! Safe the call. Rodriguez got in ahead of the tag of Carson Williams.
A great throw by Piper, but I do believe that Rodriguez did get in. He went to the back of the bag. He slid in and got that foot in just before the tag was applied.
2-2. I mean, it is such a privilege to watch Kenny Piper throw the baseball. Boyle's 2-2 is an emergency swing and a tapper foul.
That'll get a catcher fired up, though.
Yeah.
A catcher stealing a base on another catcher.
Yeah. Now, here's some research that I just happened to do yesterday and early today about Kenny Piper and his arm strength. And I have the info kind of scribbled on a sheet of paper right in front of me. A look to second by Boyle. Here's the 2-2. And that is a bit high, ball 3. So because now we're in the era of StatCast, all of the metrics from base running to how much ground and outfield it covers to make a catch, exit velocity, you name it, it's all there, and it's all available for those of us who are working in professional baseball. 3-2 from Boyle, down and in, and it's back-to-back walks now to begin the 5th inning. So digging into it, we'll see if Brian Reith makes a visit here, and it looks like he may. Yeah, here he comes, the pitch coach for the Bulls. So digging into it, it allows you to basically filter through. So I wanted to see relative arm strength in terms of miles per hour on Piper's throws to the rest of all the catchers in AAA and Major League Baseball. What I came up with today is Kenny Piper has made the 3rd hardest throw of any catcher in AAA or Major League Baseball this year. Did it in Buffalo on a fielder's choice ground ball last week. He also has the 9th fastest throw from home to second base on a stolen base attempt. That's different in terms of that. He's thrown about 87 miles an hour. There's only been one catcher this year who's thrown over 90 miles an hour. Logan Porter of Sacramento, on a ground out that he fielded right at home plate, throwing to first base. He threw 91 miles an hour to first base for Sacramento back on March the 30th. So it's a kind of a long-winded way of going through some numbers to say very few catchers at the AAA and Major League level throw the ball as hard as Piper does. Strike taken by Dominic Smith, but it's also separated by the fact he is extraordinarily accurate with his throws as well. Dominic Smith in the box after the mound visit. Rodriguez jockeys away toward third, and Boyle has a comebacker right to him. He's throwing to second for one. Williams digs it, and the throw will double up Dominic Smith. A 1-6-3 double play turned by the Bulls, and Carson Williams, the key middleman on that low throw from Boyle at the back.
It was a nasty sinker, and Carson Williams got that down. This is a guy that can throw 100. He threw it 100 at Carson Williams, but it handcuffed him. It was down, but his good hands allowed the exchange, and the Bulls turn an important double play in a key situation where the RailRiders are threatening.
2 outs now. Runner at third. Andrew Velasquez swings through. Fastball upstairs from Boyle.
But bring it back to Piper. In baseball parlance, they call it carry. And Piper has plenty of carry on that ball when it gets down to second or any ball that he throws.
Right knee down for Piper. 0-1 pitch from Boyle. A little bit up on Velasquez. I mean, his pop times from a home to second base on throws are consistently in that high 1.8, low 1.9 range. That is a terrific number for Piper. But again, his accuracy just makes it all that much more of an asset to have him behind the plates. Boyle misses high and wide at 100 again.
I remember talking to my coach, Norm DeBryan, and he coached Arkansas. He got over 1,000 wins, countless major leaguers to roll through his program. And he said nothing got him more excited or his attention when scouting a player than their ability to throw.
Cuts and a miss. Good slider there from Boyle at 92.
He said you never forget a good arm, either on the mound or in the field, and that always stuck with him. And that's something that shocked me as a player. I thought it might be, power, speed from the plate, whatever it might be. He said no, throwing was the differentiator, and that's what he used to judge players in many instances.
2-2 count on Andrew Velasquez. 2-0 Bulls, fifth inning. Boyle trying to pitch around back-to-back walks to begin the inning. Here it comes, and a little soft tap. Boyle's way again. Knee-high stop, fires to Seymour, and that is it for Scranton. Bulls 2, RailRiders nothing. We play the bottom of the fifth from Durham. There's a packed house tonight at the D-BAP. Gorgeous day. 83 degrees around the triangle. Seymour begins the fifth. And a slider darts a little bit down for ball one. Zach Messenger still on the hill.
Well, we got the speedster leading off this inning. He scored from first his first time up and then nearly beat out a throw at short where he was disappointed. He's playing the part of the two-hole tonight, showing those wheels for the big first baseman.
There's the 1-0. Drops in for a strike on Seymour. Seymour a bloop single, and then thrown out on a photo finish the first base bag in the second inning. Ball 2 on Seymour. Well, credit to Zach Messenger. He has turned this out and around. This was shaky in that first inning. I mean, he almost went off the side of the cliff, but has straightened things out nicely. He gets a high fastball past Seymour at 93. These are two of the best pitching staffs in the IL. Durham right now ranked number 3 in ERA. Scranton number 4. Here's the 2-2, a swing and a miss, and Messenger comes back from behind in the counts and puts Seymour away.
Well, he broke out the changeup for the first time, third time through, at least that I can remember, and Seymour was well in front. Great arm speed, ball never got there, and a good put-away pitch for Messenger.
So here's Eloy Jimenez. He's gone aggressively twice against Messenger. Doubled home 2 runs on the second pitch he saw in the first inning and grounded out on the only pitch he saw in the second. Takes down So the Rays beat the Yankees. Jonathan Arata saw the replay of his home run between innings. Just clobbered it to dead right field. For Viendrys Gomez. Rays beat the Yankees 10-8. Hanging breaking ball there, flipped back against the screen. 1-1. I think Jimenez thinking that ball should have been off the bricks of Diamond View 2. He was barreling up balls left and right during BP today. Ball and a strike on Eloy. Here's the pitch. And he's on that fastball. Fouled it back. Strike 2. Coco Montez due up next. Bulls lead 2-0 fifth inning. Messenger set. First base half of the rubber. Right-hander's pitch downstairs. Well, he was with the Virginia Cavaliers when they came to the ACC tournament in Durham back in 2019, but did not appear in any of those games here at the DBAP. He did lead the Cavaliers to the College World Series a couple of years later. 2-2 was tapped foul. Jimenez out ahead of off speed. Two count and the pitch on the way to Jimenez, and that just missed hitting him. I thought for a moment it might have nicked him. He kind of jumped back, froze. The ball went all the way to the backstop. Full count. Like Jimenez was a human hangman right there for a minute. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Eloy. Messenger's delivery, a swinging and bouncing ball to the hill. Messenger fields the second hop and runs, and now underhands it to Rumfield. Well, that's the way first baseman would like to receive some throws. I mean, we saw Boyle. He's thrown 100 about 4 or 5 times tonight. He threw about a 97-mile-an-hour sinker right at the shoelaces of Carson Williams.
He would have liked to see a flip like that.
Yeah, and then Bob Seymour, I mean, he would like some catcher's gear because Boyle, again, it was, if he's aiming at a dartboard, he might have been kind of on the periphery of the board and not scored any points, but Seymour still caught it. Strike 1 on Montez.
And that dart would have been buried deeply into that dartboard.
Oh, my parents hated me. We had a dartboard in my bedroom, the closet door. First off, we had the little mini Nerf hoop hanging on top of the door, but then we would just be firing darts. I mean, we'd be playing the normal game straight on and doing that. But then, you know, you'd be in the back of your room and jumping up, spinning around, firing the darts that would stick into the door. And you know, by the time I graduated high school, there must have been about 300 dart holes in that wooden door. Swing by Montez. This one's hit in the alley in right center, giving it an opportunity. Richardson dives, does knock the ball down. Munguia comes up throwing late to second base. And Montez has a 2-out double in the 5th inning.
A good effort by Richardson. The ball just bounded, short hopped up, and then hit off his glove, bounds away. That forced Munguia to have to pick it up. Montez sees that as he's running to first, knows immediately that he's got a chance at a double. And the Bulls have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
It's Coco's first extra base hit with the Bulls. Now we will see Boyle come back for the 6th. He got a fist bump from Morgan Ensberg coming off the mound. Activity begins for the first time for the RailRiders. The right-hander is up. But in Boyle's game against Atlanta last week, Coco Montez was in the lineup against Atlanta as well. Carson Williams tries to pick up the 2-out run. Got a hanging slider that he chops against the screen of the Bulls' dugouts. Durham up 2-0, 5th inning. All 6 hits in the game belong to Durham. And Williams waves after a breaking ball. He still is really feeling for pitches, isn't he?
He's having trouble reading them, and that was just a swing. He decided to make his mind up before, was fooled badly, and now finds himself down on the count 0-2.
And when you are scuffling at the plate, it seems like every time you're in the box with an 0-2 count. Montez jumps, he breaks for third. The pitch is caught on and missed, and Williams fans again. And Montez stranded at second base. Year number 11 of the Couch Oil Cares College Scholarship. Thanks to Steve Couch, Janice Couch Thompson, and the entire Couch Oil team. 6 $2,000 scholarships will be awarded to high school seniors in a 16-county region in central North Carolina this year. Application deadline, though, is next Friday. Head to couchoilcares.org. Download the app. Get it in, postmarked by next Friday. And good luck, and thanks so much to Couch Oil once again, helping to defray the cost of higher education and help mold the future leaders of tomorrow. Boyle back on the hill, top of the sixth begins, and he's 1-1 on Grant Richardson. The RailRiders devoid of a hit. 64 pitches through 5 innings. The bullpen for Durham just about to start throwing behind him. And the 1-1 to Richardson, a swing and a miss, strike 2. Again, there's that low 90s slider from Joe Boyle. We've seen it top out at 92 tonight. Boyle is fanned 5, walked 2. He retired the game's first 12. Wearing the sport goggles, Boyle on 1-2. A defensive cut by Richardson fends it off. But Boyle, he was born in Philly but grew up in St. Louis and then moved to Kentucky for his last year of high school in Goshen, Kentucky. Drafted by the Reds, but he never was in the Reds organization long enough to pitch in Louisville. Swing and a miss, and Boyle strikes out Richardson. First out of the 6th inning. But he's still highly partial to all of the major sports teams of the city of brotherly love in Philadelphia. 1 away in the 6th. And now it is Max Burt. Looks like Sulser in the bullpen for Durham. And Boyle fires as the home plate umpire walked out of there. I think, was there music still playing in the background when he made the pitch?
I knew it was no pitch, but I do not know the reason why.
Yeah. Burt had backed out. He went to his left. Brian Walsh, the plate umpire, walked to his right. And Boyle went ahead with the delivery anyway. Pitch did not count. And now the first pitch on Burt's zips tight for ball 1. 99 again from Boyle. He hit 100 within his first 5 pitches of this game, and now into the 6th inning, still 99. 1-0. In for a strike. There's the slider. I mean, we saw a game a couple of days ago where Scranton didn't have a pitcher, I think, cracked 91 with a fastball until late in the game. Boyle in the 6th inning is throwing a slider at 92. 2 balls and 1 strike. I mean, safe to say the only thing holding Boyle back, right now there's really nothing holding Boyle back except for a spot in the rotation. But it's been the command that has been kind of up and down earlier in his career. But I mean, most of that has been ironed out. I mean, he's gone to very few long counts today. Just had that back-to-back walk issue in the top of the 5th, but that's been it. I mean, this is going to be a quality starter somewhere for a long time if he stays healthy. Boyle's pitch, little tap in the batter's box, clips off of the heel of Burt while still in the right-handed box. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Maybe he's taken Boyle a little bit deeper into his pro career to figure it out and get more consistent in the zone, trust his stuff, work on the secondary command. But I mean, he's only 25. He's got a long, long runway in front of him as a big league pitcher. 3-2, swing and a miss. And that takes care of Burt, and that is number 7 for Boyle. He's gone 5 2/3 hitless innings. Morgan Ensberg writing something down. He's to the top step. And I think this might be Boyle's final hitter, but he will stay in to face Bibas for a 3rd time.
A good battle back by Boyle on that last at bat, too. He fell behind 3-1 on Burt, but then threw a good fastball and that slider to close it out.
Bibas has grounded out twice to Murray at 3rd base. Knocks the first pitch foul. But important again for the Rays to get Boyle a sixth up. And the reason why he was able to get that sixth up today, 64 pitches through 5. And he was 32 after 3. He's been in command all night long. 0-1. Fly ball left field. Montez moving back near the warning track. He's at the LED line score and will make the grab. A jumping catch right at the bottom of the LED board in the Blue Monster. Bulls lead 2-0 to the bottom of the 6th inning. First pitch swinging, Tristan Peters fouls off the delivery. A couple of runs for the Bulls the first inning on a double by Eloy Jimenez. And credit to Messenger, who settled in, was able to get off the barrels. He's done after 5 innings. As Eric Reiselman comes in and retires Tristan Peters in a ground ball at second base. So Reiselman, who spent a year at LSU, teammates with Trey Morgan and Paul Gervais. We get a second look at Reiselman in this series. Hard throwing right-hander in his own right, replacing Messenger. Meanwhile, we know Boyle will be done. Got the handshake from Morgan Ensberg. 6 no-hit innings, 7 strikeouts. Only 2 base runners, back-to-back walks in the 5th inning, but Boyle did not allow a run. One ball counts on Kenny Piper. And the pitch thrown to the backstop. 2-0. He's going back over Boyle's previous game with the Bulls on April the 6th because he threw 5+ no-hit innings against the Braves. 6 no-hit innings against Scranton today. Going back into his April 6th start, his previous one, he gave up a hit to the next to last batter he faced against Sugar Land. So he's now thrown 11 1/3 no-hit innings across his last, well, I guess you call it his last 3 outings. Three-ball counts on Kenny Piper. 1 out, none on. And the pitch from Reiselman hits him. That's just what Piper needed. Catchers take so many fouls over the course of the year. Their body really can't even heal from November to February. The last thing they need to do is wear a fastball in the shoulder, as Piper just did on a 3-0 pitch.
Walk. It's a 3-0 count. You're thinking, well, let's take the walk. No, you're going to have to pay with a little bit of pain before you go down.
A little bit. And there's 95 in the shoulder. Here's Westbrook. Upstairs, ball 1. By the way, really nice catch by Coco Montez out in left field. He's starting in left field for the 2nd time in his career.
Outfield's easy. Anybody can play out there, Patrick.
That's true. Westbrook has struck out in a walk tonight. 2-0 Durham, 6th inning. And Reiselman hits Westbrook in the leg.
I think he got out of the way.
Did he miss him?
They missed him. This was a breaking ball. The other was a fastball. He's been missing arm side up and into the righties. This was a breaking ball that he tried to throw. That's going to bring out Gerardo Casadiego, as Reiselman has lost control.
Yeah.
And that ball is flying out, arm side up and into righties. That'll be alarming to the hitters. And now the breaking ball clearly gets away, and Westbrook had to do a dance just to avoid that hitting him.
Yeah, I don't know how it missed him. Casadiego's out there, patting Reiselman on the chest, patting him down on the shoulder. I mean, some type of psychological pep talk on just making sure that mentally he doesn't lose it here in this 6th inning.
I'm trying to calm him down.
Yeah. Reiselman grew up in San Ramon, California, at De La Salle High School. 2-ball counts on Westbrook. Piper at first base, 1 out. Here's the pitch. And that is in for a strike. Scaled it back, only 92 on that delivery, but lands it in the zone. Drew Baker on deck. The pitch from Reiselman, swinging a foul out of play through the air to the first base side. Saw Reiselman and Gervais get together after the day game on Tuesday, in which they both appeared as teammates for LSU. Gervais threw an inning for the Bulls. Reiselman threw well for Scranton in that one. They became very close in their time in Baton Rouge as Westbrook takes inside, full counts. So they got together after the game, took some pictures. Looked like Raisman caught up with some of Gervais's family and friends who were in attendance that day. 3-2, Piper's on the move. The pitch is low, no throw anywhere from Rodriguez. Westbrook walks. 2 aboard with 1 out. Bulls lead 2-0 in the 6th inning. Final line on Messenger. 6 hits over his 5 innings of work. 2 runs earned. He fanned 8, walked 3. Did a nice job to steady things after a rough first inning.
Yeah, this game could have easily gotten away with him. There were runners on with less than 2 outs, but he was able to navigate that and keep the damage to a minimum and keep Scranton in the game.
All right, Drew Baker stands in, bunted his way on back in the 2nd, and he looks at ball 1. Sulser finishing in the Durham pen. He'll get the 7th. Raise him on a high set, and the pitch. Hands a slider for a strike. 1-1.
Sulser following Boyle is going to be an interesting combination because as the Scranton lineup was gearing up for 100, they're going to be excited to see somebody with a little less velocity. Yep. But Sulser's got a changeup that could make them look silly if they're looking for all fastballs.
Breaking ball wide, 2-1 now on Drew Baker.
So you go from one extreme to the other, and that's a contrast in styles that could potentially be very effective for the Bulls.
Action just beginning behind Raisman for Scranton. 2-1 on Drew Baker. And the pitch. Ground ball up the middle, chasing Velasquez. Dive leaves him short. Past third, Piper digging hard for the plate. There's no throw coming from Munguia. 3-0 Bulls. Drew Baker grounds one into center field for his 2nd hit of the night.
Well, the Bulls come through here. Baker gets that base hit up the middle. 2 runners on because of walks. Piper scores easily. This ball squirts through the middle. A fastball over the middle of the plate. When a pitcher's struggling to find the zone, they try to just throw it down the middle to get a strike, to put it in play. That's exactly what happens. Baker takes advantage and gets an RBI with an insurance run.
3rd run driven in by Baker. Now Tanner Murray in the top of the order for the Bulls. Murray's been on a couple of times and made 2 terrific defensive plays at third base tonight. A ground ball over the mound up the middle, fielded by Burt. He'll take it to the bag, make an off-balance throw to first base, and double up Murray. Nice play by Max Burt. Bulls baseball brought to you by Emerge Ortho, a trusted team physicians for the Bulls since 1980. 16 orthopedic urgent cares all around the triangle. Visit emergeortho.com to learn more and emerge stronger, healthier, and better. It is Cole Sulser coming on for the Bulls, top of the 7th. 3-0 lead for Durham as Drew Baker's 2nd hit of the game just chased home Kenny Piper. So Sulser, 35-year-old right-hander in his 3rd different stint with the Rays organization now. On for the 5th time this year, gets an empty cut by Everson Pereira. Joe Boyle, another masterpiece. 5+ no-hit innings against Atlanta last Sunday en route to a win. 6 no-hit innings today against the RailRiders. Just 2 walks from perfection in those 6 innings. He fanned 7, and now Sulser gets the 7th. By the way, there was a no-hitter in this league 2 days ago. It was a 7-inning no-hitter thrown by Worcester. Cooper Criswell, former Bull, went the first 4 innings in that 7-inning no-hitter for the Woo Sox. Here's the 1-1 from Sulser. A swing and a miss, strike 2. Sulser 4 hits over 5 2/3 scoreless innings. He has struck out 7 and issued no walks in his time with the Bulls. He did get a brief call-up with the Rays last week. Took a loss in relief with Tampa Bay. High and in with a fastball at 93. 2-2 on Pereira. Action behind Raisman for Scranton in the bullpen. Sulser's 2-2 locks him up, and that just missed inside. Pereira, Rumfield, and Rodriguez are due. Light's taking full hold on the field, and strike three swinging. Sulser takes care of Pereira. Looked like the changeup from Sulser with some action away from the barrel of the right-handed hitter.
A changeup with movement, and that's exactly what happened. That ball just doesn't seem to get there, and this is a real challenge for a Scranton lineup that was gearing up for 100, and now you've got to try to contend with his changeup.
How do you?
You've got to wait and try to be disciplined, but it's going to be hard after that differential, and you're used to seeing gas.
Strike one on Rumfield. Rumfield came out of Virginia Tech. He was there along the same time as Ian Seymour was in Blacksburg. Rumfield came out 4 years ago. Transferred into the Hokies program from Texas Tech, which is where Drew Baker played. Fly ball pulled to right center with some depth. Peters back near the track, and Peters will make the backhand play. About 2 steps on the warning track.
That was off speed, out over the plate. Rumfield is strong, and he lifts this in the air, but it didn't have the carry. A great route by Peters to run this one down. It's allowed out for the second out here in the 7th.
And now it is Rodriguez, who is the first Rail Rider in this game to reach when he walked on 4 pitches to start the 5th inning. Pitch from Sulser, a high fly, hangs Montez's way. He's coming in, moving right in left field, and has it. And the no-hitter combined by the Bulls gets through 7 full. Boyle went 6.
Leading off the Bulls, the first baseman, number 41, Bob Seymour.
Ready to go for the bottom of the 7th inning. Bulls 3, Rail Riders nothing. Bob Seymour opens things up here for Durham against the 3rd pitcher of the night for Scranton, Jeff Hartley. 31 comes on behind Eric Raiselman. Swing and a miss by Seymour. Strike 2. Seymour, Jimenez, and Coco Montez due up here in the 7th inning for Durham. Bulls 3, Rail Riders nothing. Sulser is going to get another inning. Scranton does not have a hit through 7. Hartley holds on 0-2. Pitch on the way to Seymour. Cut and a miss, strike 3. Breaking pitch beneath the zone. Fans Seymour for the 2nd time in a row.
Hartley comes in. He's got a repertoire that shows a good fastball that's going to keep you honest in the mid-90s. A breaking bowler split that breaks straight down, and that pitch that got Seymour was that pitch that had that depth to it and dove out of the zone.
All right, so 1 away in the 7th inning. Here's Eloy Jimenez, contributed that 2-run double in the very 1st inning. And takes downstairs from a Hartley. 2nd time the Bulls have seen a Hartley in the series. 3.60 ERA, a win and no losses. 5 punch-outs in 5 innings. Pitch on Jimenez, smashes ground ball, diving, knocked down by Velasquez, but it deflects off of his glove into the left field grass. And Jimenez has his 2nd hit of the game.
Jimenez is starting to get his timing back. You can see it. That ball is really jumping off his bat. A great effort by Velasquez as he dove to his right. He was lucky just to get a glove on it, but that's a sure base hit. And Jimenez heating up at the right time as the Rays need some offense.
So here is Coco Montez. 2nd ever game in his career playing left field, both times this year for Durham, and he's out ahead of the Hartley off-speed pitch and rolls. It's the Bulls dugouts. Bulls 3, Rail Riders nothing. Could be an historic evening at the DBAP. 8,440 have witnessed 7 no-hit innings so far by Bulls pitching. Swing and a miss on a sinker in at 95 from a Hartley. Rumfield holds on. Jimenez at first base. And Hartley in the black jersey and the gray pants holds. Pitches home, and Montez pulls one, a sinker to left field. Pereira coming in, it lands in front of him. Base hit. And Jimenez will track it to second base. End of the bat, base hit to left field by Coco Montez.
It was a breaking ball that hung up in the zone. Montez went out to get it and hit that one with topspin, and thankfully he did. It looked like a Patrick Keenest forehand on the tennis court. As that ball dropped, Pereira had an idea of trying to run underneath that, but could not due to the overspin.
Yeah, I still got it.
I know you do.
I mean, that's a topspin on clay right there. Just trying to set things up, work the point, find her opportunity. Here's Carson Williams, 0 for 3. Struck out twice tonight. Hartlieb's delivery, a swing and a miss. 0-1 on Carson. Kind of nodding to himself. He's trying to show a little kind of self-preservation right here, trying to convince himself that he's ready to go here against Hartlieb. Here's the 0-1. Smash toward short, diving backhand. Velasquez up, throws to second. The relay almost doubled Williams. Man, oh man, what a spectacular stop by Ander Velasquez. And then how fast did he get to his feet and make a snap throw to second base and almost turn an unbelievable double play.
Well, this had to be 100 off the bat, but Velasquez does a great job to get to it. But credit Williams for hustling. This could have easily been a double play as hard as this ball was hit. But Williams hustling out of the box, beats it out and extends the inning. A fine play all the way around, but we've seen Velasquez get some balls in this week. He has played some great defense for the RailRiders.
And for Carson Williams, he could not believe a throw was coming from second base right there. What does he have to do to break the snide and pick up a hit? That'll be an 0-for on that at bat with the force out at second as Tristan Peters swings and misses.
But if you're Williams, you take from it solid contact. That's a place to start. And if you're in a slump, start to load early. If you load early like you did there, you can keep your hands back, put the ball in play.
First and third, Jimenez far down the line, and Peters takes low. And Jimenez, I mean, he can come about halfway home because Bebas, the third baseman, he's on the other side of the shortstop hole. I mean, he's
playing
45
shortstop.
feet away from the third base bag, and I mean, Jimenez can come further down the line than he is now. Hartlieb looking straight at him out of the stretch, and Peters fouls off a slider. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Tristan Peters. A bloop single in the first inning, but Eloy Jimenez was thrown out trying to score by Pereira from left field. 3-0 Durham, 7th inning. Hartlieb covers his face with his glove as he gets the sign from Rodriguez. Runner at first breaks. A swing by Peters. High fly, left center field to the alley. Munguia near the warning track has it, and that will retire the side. 2 hits, no runs, and a sparkler by Velasquez saves a run at shortstop for the RailRiders. To the 8th we go. The no-hitter is intact. Bulls 3, Scranton nothing. But the new headline of this story is the Durham Bulls pitching staff 6 outs away from their 7th franchise AAA no-hitter. And Scott, would you know that the 5th no-hitter the Bulls ever threw at AAA, Cole Sulser was involved in it 6 years ago. First pitch swinging, a pop-up out of play as Munguia leads off the 8th. The last one was thrown by the Bulls against Syracuse August 7th of 2019. That was Arturo Reyes, Ricardo Pinto, Jose Alvarado, and Hobie Milner. And Sulser misses outside. The Sulser no-hitter that he participated in, he threw the final 3 innings. It was a doubleheader game against Gwinnett. Jake Cronenworth opened. He went 1 inning. Luis Santos threw 3 innings. Sulser threw the final 3 innings of that 7-inning no-hitter. Liner to second, caught by Westbrook. Forehand side, about a foot off of the ground, reaching to his left. 1 away in the 8th inning.
Designated hitter number 3, Dominic Smith.
And Sulser hasn't retired the first 4 he's faced. And now it's Dominic Smith. Grounded into a double play. Started by Boyle on the mound in the 5th inning. First pitch right by him. Rising up and a little bit in, strike 1. Andrew Velasquez on deck. The pitch from Sulser. Outside for a ball. Now, the Bulls came to AAA in the IL in 1998. They did not throw their first one until 8 years later, 2006. I have called 5 of the 6. 1-1, pulled weakly to second base. Into the hole, Westbrook's on it. The throw to Seymour is out number 23. And there are 2 outs in the 8th inning. 3-0 Bulls. And here's Andrew Velasquez.
Shortstop number 2, Andrew Velasquez.
Only 2 walks for the RailRiders offense tonight. Velasquez is lined to right and bounced back in the mound. Third baseman Murray is in, trying to take away the bunt. Again, it's a 3-0 game. It's not like it's 9-0. So this is not Murray just trying to defend the no-hitter on a bunt. This is trying to keep the Bulls in line for a win here. 1 ball, no strikes on the lefty Velasquez. Here's the pitch from Sulser. Swing and a miss. Got a piece of the home plate umpire. 1-1. Of those 6 no-hitters the Bulls have thrown, 3 of them have occurred here. And if Sulser gets this final out of the 8th in the bottom half, we'll go through a couple of them because you were here for a couple of those as well. And one very memorable one. Bullpen works now behind Sulser as Velasquez misses a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Right-hander getting ready behind Sulser for the 9th inning for Durham. Sulser holds the baseball in his bare hand, cradles the glove against the left thigh. And the 1-2 to Velasquez, a swing, a ground ball. Westbrook's been a busy man in this inning. Fields another one, snaps the throw across. And the Bulls have thrown 8 no-hit innings against Scranton. Boyle the front 6. Sulser 2 perfect. They paid, and they might be saving their digital tickets from this one. The physical tickets I don't think exist anymore. 3-0 Bulls, bottom of the 8th. First pitch in for a strike on Kenny Piper. The RailRiders do not have a hit in this game, and it looks like Jacob Waguespack is up in the bullpen for Durham. And the 9th and a shot at IL history will be on that blue glove he is using in that bullpen for Durham. 1-1 on Piper. Hit by a pitch in the 6th, came in to score Durham's 3rd run of the game. Hartlieb continues for the RailRiders, and this is a cue shot. Massade over to the dugout for Scranton. Strike 2 on Piper. All right, so let's kind of go through the no-hitters that the Bulls have thrown since coming to AAA in '98. Mentioned the first one back in 2006. Jason Hamill started that when Juan Salas closed it out against Columbus. That was here at the DBAP. Piper takes low. The first one that I called when I came to the Bulls was in Pawtucket in May of 2013. I remember this because I lost my voice the night before. I called Mike Burling that night and said, I don't know if I can call the next day's game. He said, well, give it a shot, otherwise we'll pick up the Pawtucket broadcasters. Looper into left field, drops in a base hit for Kenny Piper. So as Jake Odorizzi started that game for the Durham Bulls, I mean, I am throwing every ounce from my diaphragm up to my throat to try and utter a couple of words here or there, throwing down the hot tea with lemon and honey, and was able to get through it. And sure enough, the Bulls throw no-hitter that day against Pawtucket. Kirby Yates, Jeff Belleville were in that one as well. Here's Jamie Westbrook. Put a glove on all 3 outs in that 8th inning. Caught a low line drive and then a couple of ground balls his way. Then the Bulls, the following year, late April of 2014, you'll remember this one because it was a day game. It was actually against Scranton right here as Westbrook takes a strike. If you want to go back and get the details on this no-hitter from the manager's perspective, Charlie Montoya was a guest on our podcast last year, and I asked him about it because Mike Montgomery started the game. He went 8 no-hit innings. Brad Boxberger was getting ready in the bullpen. He was coming in full house that day, and Montgomery, when the bottom of the 8th inning ended, left the dugout, went back to the mound, against Charlie Montoyo and Neil Allen's wishes, he was done, but he came back out anyway, went to the mound, got the first out, and as the throw was going to first base for that first out, as this one's line to right field, sinking down, that's a base hit. Richardson stops it, and stopping at second is Piper. First and second, nobody out in the Bulls' 8th inning. Charlie Montoya has never left a dugout and walked the mound so fast that he did that moment to take Montgomery out. Andrew Friedman was also here in attendance that day. He's now the VP for the LA Dodgers, but he was with the Rays then. Montgomery was fined, and let's just say internally it did not go over very well for Montgomery and the Rays, but Boxberger came on, got the last 2 outs of that no-hitter.
Remember it well. An internal controversy for sure.
Oh, yes. 2-1, nobody out. RailRiders expecting a bunt here from Drew Baker, who has 2 hits, including a bunt single back in the seconds. He squares, draws back, and takes high. The next no-hitter was the only complete game no-hitter in Bulls AAA history. Justin Marks did it in Syracuse in July of 2016. He threw 132 pitches in what wound up being, I think that was his final professional season as a pitcher. Here's the pitch from Hartley. Again, top of the zone. Baker lets it go. This time it is in the zone for a strike.
In a bunting situation, a pitcher will consciously try to exploit the top of the zone in an attempt to get the hitter to pop the bunt up.
Yeah. Piper at second, Westbrook at first, nobody out. Bibas angling on the grass at third base. This is bunted in the air, but foul back behind Rodriguez. 1-2.
That's the goal. And another elevated pitch. That ball is fouled off. I imagine with 2 strikes, the bunt will be called off.
Nobody out, 8th inning, 3-0 Durham. Ball and 2 strikes on Baker. The bunt is likely off now. Bibas backs up. The pitch from Hartley, a weak bouncing ball to the mound. Hartley, a bouncing throw to second base, grabbed by Burt. They get the force out at second base. Good job by Burt to handle kind of an awkward, off-balance, falling throw from Hartley, but holding the bag, lunging to his right, and digging a one-hop throw. Piper to third, Baker reaches the fielder's choice.
Awkward off balance, you're nice. That was a lawn dart thrown straight into the ground. And how he was able to make the adjustment was tremendous. A great play by Burt to keep that ball going into center field and saving, for the time being, another run being scored.
All right, Shelley Duncan out of the dugout. That's likely it for Hartley. Bulls threw a no-hitter on July 5th of 2017. That was the one started by Cronenworth against Gwinnett. That was the one Cole Sulser threw the final 3 innings of a doubleheader no-hitter. But the last one thrown by the Bulls was against Syracuse 6 years ago. Arturo Reyes, Ricardo Pinto, Jose Alvarado, and Holby Milner closed it out right here. 3-0 Bulls. Pitching change for the RailRiders. We're at the bottom of the 8th, inheriting a couple of base runners and 1 out. Bulls on top of the RailRiders 3-0. And the first batter he will face will be the righty Tanner Murray. As Strisny grew up in Corpus Christi, pitches college ball at the University of Missouri. He made his major league debut 9 years ago. Tanner Murray, a single and a walk in 4 trips tonight. And takes a fastball whistling in, strike 1 on the inner third. Kenny Piper at third base. Drew Baker behind him at first. Infield double play depth with Murray in the box. The pitch, a swing and a bouncer on one long hop to Bibas. He'll sidearm to Burt. The relay to first base is bobbled and dropped by Rumfield, and the run is going to score. Piper crosses the plate. It's 4-0 Bulls. Rumfield had a low throw coming in from Burt, couldn't handle it, and the Bulls pick up an insurance run.
In rushing to make the throw, the ball goes low. Rumfield could not handle it, and speed for the Bulls gets that insurance run across.
So there will be an RBI for Tanner Murray. Can't assume the double play, so no error charged against Rumfield. And Bob Seymour looks at ball 1 from the left-hander Zastryzny. In the 9th, the RailRiders will have the 8, 9, and 1 spots in the lineup. Richardson, Burtz, And then Bibas says Seymour smokes a low liner by the dive of Velasquez to left center. Digging for third is Tanner Murray. The throw on one hop. The tag is going to get him. And the inning closes.
Leading off the RailRiders, right fielder number 8, Grant Richardson.
8 no-hit innings have been thrown by 2 Bulls pitchers, Joe Boyle and Cole Sulser. The RailRiders have had just a meager 2 walks in this one. This is the closest they have been to a hit. A sinking line drive out into right field. Did Peters catch the ball? Was it a trap? It was ruling out. And the 9th inning begins. First pitch tapped away, foul by Grant Richardson. The hardest hit ball by the RailRiders all night was that Tanner Murray terrific stop down at third base and a ball hit by Dominic Smith back in the 2nd inning. 100 off the bat on a short hop. And Jacob Waguespack bounces one in. It's 1-1 against Richardson. Richardson has struck out twice, both ABs against Boyle. He now faces Waguespack here in the 9th inning in his 6th Bulls appearance. The 1-1 pitch, a swing, a foul pop, hangs toward the roof, halfway down the third base line. And in just a whisper of irony, Scott Pose, the last time the RailRiders have been no-hit was that no-hitter we just remarked on involving Mike Montgomery and Brad Boxberger 11 years ago. 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Waguespack freezes Richardson. 95 on the black. And that is out number 25 of a potential Bulls no-hitter.
Richardson was looking for a split finger. He didn't get it. Instead, he got a fastball dotting the outside corner. He knew it immediately and started to walk back to the dugout.
Now it's Max Burt, right-handed hitter, who began the year with Scranton, was sent back to Double-A and just returned a few days ago, and a breaking ball drops in over but low. Ball 1. Bulls still have 2 challenges if they need them. One ball pitch from Waguespack. Outside ball 2. Burt is 0 for 6 with Scranton this year. He has just 1 hit all year. He is 1 for 12. He's at 174 at Double-A Somerset before coming back here to Scranton. 2-ball pitch. In for a strike. Fastball, 94 from Waguespack. Durham scored twice in the first on a double by Jimenez. Added another in the 6th on a single by Baker. And then another in the bottom of the 8th inning. Scranton could not convert to double play. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Change up from Waguespack. Burt out ahead in a fastball count. Two balls, 2 strikes on Max Burt. Tanner Murray deep at third base. He's off the line by about 7 feet. Target by Piper. Pitch from Waguespack. Foul back. Pretty good a rip there by Burt with 2 strikes.
Yeah, that wasn't a 2-strike swing. He was swinging for the downs on that pitch.
Durham 4, Scranton nothing. 9th inning. No hits for the RailRiders. Jacob Waguespack, 3rd pitcher of the night for the Bulls, delivers. Bounce it in. Blocked off with a chest to Piper. Some of these fans have been following this no-hit try for about an hour now. Some Bulls fans are just now realizing that they're on the edge of their seats of history here at the DBAP. Almost 9,000 tonight. 3-2 pitch from Waguespack. A swing and a tapper foul. Again, Waguespack not giving in on a 3-2 fastball. Looked like a splitter there. Tiny little piece by Burt. With the left hand and the blue glove, the baseball in his pitching hand. Waguespack, the tall righty, straightens up. Piper shows him the mitts. 3-2 pitch. Inside, and it's a walk with 1 out in the 9th inning. 3rd walk issued tonight. Again, Boyle retired the first 12 of the game before he walked the first 2 hitters in the 5th. And then Boyle finished up his outing, retiring the final 5. Sulser set down all 6. Waguespack got the first out in the 9th. Well, a double play would end it. B-Bus, who's had more hits than any rail rider in this series, is in the box. First pitch, curve in the dirt, blocked by Piper. He was 9 hits in the first 4 games. Nothing of 3 tonight. A couple of ground outs to Murray at third base, and then a liner caught by Montez in fairly deep left. So everything is gone the other way tonight. 1-0 pitch, swung on, line into right field, across, hustles Peters. He's going to run it down. 2 away in the 9th inning. Peters hunts one down to keep the no-hitter intact, and 9,000 Bulls fans come to their feet on the precipice of history.
A great route by Peters. He was off as soon as that was hard contact was made. Took the perfect route, made an easy catch.
And the RailRiders will now go to the bench. Edison Duran, 23-year-old backup catcher, just added back to the roster earlier today, is coming off the bench to try and deny a Bulls no-hitter. First pitch from Waguespack, strike 1. Eight 2/3 no-hit innings for the Bulls. Jacob Waguespack with the crowd standing, swinging a ground ball right at Murray, throw to second, and that is a Bulls no-hitter for the 7th time in AAA franchise history. Joe Boyle, Cole Sulser, Jacob Waguespack combine on a 9-inning no-hitter of the Scranton Wilkes-Barre RailRiders. A 4-0 final on this Saturday, April 19th of 2025.
Pitching has been the strong suit of the Bulls all year, and we saw it tonight as Joe Boyle was outstanding through 6. Sulser strikes out 1 and 2 innings, keeps the no-hitter alive, and Waguespack closes it down. What a performance by the pitching staff for the Durham Bulls.
And the defense came up huge a couple of times tonight for the Bulls. Tristan Peters, a diving catch out in right field. Tanner Murray, a flawless defensive game at third base. Durham Bulls throw their 7th ever AAA no-hitter. It's a no-hit, the Scranton Wilkes-Barre RailRider, 4-0. And hard to believe, the last time the RailRiders, they just went 11 years without being no-hit, and they got no-hit by the last team to do it in 2014, right here on the same field, in the same stadium.
We'll talk about irony, but it was an outstanding pitching performance. We saw a great pitching performance from Scranton last night. We see one tonight from the Bulls. Just a tremendous job by Brian Reed's staff, and they shut down a good Scranton lineup and give up no hits.
And Kenny Piper getting the post-game interview. It sounds like he just said he had no idea they were throwing a no-hitter, but he called it. And history in Durham. 4-0 Bulls over Scranton. On the TV side, thank you for watching. Airtime tomorrow, straight up 5 o'clock Eastern. 5:05 first pitch of the finale against Scranton. On the radio side, stay tuned. Coming back with the